The villagers whispered his name only in hushed tones, the ritualist. They said he was older than the trees, a shadow that had loomed over their land for generations. Some believed he was merely a legend, a tale to scare children into obedience. But Adanna knew better. She had seen him. It started with a dream. A vision of blood-red skies, a temple drenched in shadows, and a voice that whispered her name. Adanna woke up in a cold sweat, her heart pounding like a war drum. The next morning, her little brother, Chike, was gone. The elders insisted he had wandered into the forest, but Adanna knew that wasn't true. She had heard his screams in the dead of night, swallowed by the wind. She had seen a figure in the distance, a tall, skeletal man cloaked in crimson, his eyes burning like embers. No one else would listen. So she went alone. The deeper she ventured into the forest, the more the air thickened with something ancient, something wrong. The trees bent unnaturally, their twisted branches clawing at the sky. Then, she found it, the temple from her dreams. Inside, candlelight flickered against stone walls covered in cryptic symbols. And there, standing before an altar, was the ritualist. His hooded form radiated darkness, his long fingers moving in a hypnotic dance. Behind him, Chike lay unconscious, surrounded by strange markings drawn in blood. Adanna stepped forward, her voice trembling. "Let him go." The ritualist turned slowly, his gaze pinning her in place. "You came willingly," he murmured, his voice deep and hollow. "A sacrifice of love is the most powerful of all." He reached out, and suddenly, Adanna couldn't move. Her tears burned as they ran down her cheeks, her body paralyzed by an unseen force. The air grew heavier, the candle flames rising unnaturally high. The ritualist's fingers curled, and she felt something, her very essence, beginning to slip away. But then, a voice, soft yet commanding, echoed in her mind. "Remember who you are."
Adanna clenched her fists, summoning every ounce of will she had left. With a scream, she lunged forward, breaking free of the ritualist's hold. She grabbed a nearby blade from the altar and slashed through the symbols drawn around Shike. The ground trembled. The ritualist let out an inhuman shriek as his body began to disintegrate into a cloud of darkness. The temple walls cracked, beams of golden light piercing through. Grabbing Chike, Adanna ran. She didn't stop until they were back in the village, the cursed forest shrinking behind them. No one believed her story, they never did, but the ritualist was gone. For now, yet, in the dead of night, when the wind howled through the trees, Adanna could still hear his voice. "You came willingly, and I will return."